Hey, what's up studs? Ryan here, or MandRproductions, and today I'm going to be going through all of my LEGO Star Wars January/March 2022 set predictions. So we pretty much know everything for 2021 at this point, so it's definitely a good time to do 2022 predictions before any rumors come out. If y'all enjoy the video as usual, hit that like button and let me know your predictions for LEGO Star Wars in early 2022 down in the comments below. Anyway, let's get into it with my microfighter selections up first. I'm guessing that they're leaning really heavily on the Mandalorian / Book of Boba Fett. Obviously, they've done so in the summer 2021 lineup, so I'm assuming they're going to do so again here in the microfighter lineup for 2022. And with that, I'm guessing that we're actually going to get a Razor Crest that will, of course, come with the Mandalorian. And there is an opportunity that we could actually get two figures in the set. They could include Baby Yoda with this, but I think that if they do it, it would just have the Mandalorian. Now, to me, the question for this comes down to, will they actually put the arm printing on? And while it wouldn't be super sensible, they could actually use the older Mandalorian, since he is technically the rarer one at this point, and therefore putting the non-Beskar version of the Mando would kind of make sense. But it wouldn't make so much sense if you consider that the counterpart to this, in my opinion, would end up being the Slave One. That's right, I think they're going to come out with a Boba Fett Slave One from the Mandalorian, and we haven't had a Slave One microfighter yet, so we're super overdue. And I had assumed they were going to do one to pair with the Millennium Falcon in early 2021. That just didn't come to fruition. Part of me thinks, conspiracy M&R here, that there is a chance that that set was canceled to make room for a Boba Fett Slave One for 2022. I don't know. It's an unlikely thing, but it's just something that's crossed my mind. So that's both $10 sets that I think will come out in January. Now, as far as battle packs for next year, my best guess is that we'll get two battle packs. They said battle packs at $15 will be returning. They didn't say when, but in my opinion, if they were willing to say that, it's going to be happening sooner rather than later. So my guess is January 2021. And with that, my guess for next year's battle packs would be a Clone Trooper battle pack and a Siege of Mandalorian battle pack with a bunch of Gar Saxon / Maul Mandos, and then you can have these battle packs kind of clash together in one big battle. As far as distribution of figures in these sets, I'm not quite sure what they would go with. Now, I know they did a Mandalorian battle pack couple years ago, or at least at the time this will be released, it'll be a couple years ago, but I think it's okay because they're doing significantly different Mandalorian characters, and it's also from a completely different piece of media. For the $20 microfighter set, part of me wanted to sit here and say a Wampa and a Snowspeeder, or something to that effect, which would be pretty cool, let's be honest, but I don't really see how that works, so my best guess for a 2022 duo microfighter would actually be a B-Wing and a TIE Interceptor. I think that would make a great duo. I think the B-Wing is the harder one for them to do, but maybe they figured out how to do it and make it good. At the $30 price range, I'm guessing we'll get a Juniors or 4+ Y-Wing. It's kind of the one that we haven't seen yet as far as a Junior set goes. We've had a couple X-Wings, we've had a Snowspeeder, we've had a A-Wing, we've yet to see a B-Wing, and we've yet to see a Y-Wing, and my guess is that we will get a Juniors Y-Wing, and it seems like a pretty simple build for them to do. It's a really simple ship as far as the shaping of it goes, in my opinion, so this one would make sense at $30. And now, as far as my predictions go, this is kind of where I'm going to leave a blank spot at $30, because usually $30 seems to be where these random sets end up. I think we get a Book of Boba Fett set here. I think we do. I think we'll get one Book of Boba Fett set that costs $30 from this wave, and then maybe in the summer of 2022, we'll see more Book of Boba Fett stuff come out, as they'll actually have access to whatever Disney filmed, and obviously the show will have been out at that point. So my best guess is that we get some type of $30 set based off Book of Boba Fett, which comes out in December. At the $40 price range, I'm guessing a Battle Droid carrier. We are long overdue for battle droids in some type of set en masse, and we could use a battle droid carrier to shore that up. It'll also include a couple of Gungans, a bunch of battle droids, and a couple of battle droid pilots, much like the 2015 set, which has become exorbitantly expensive. I would hope they see that and make a decision to release a new battle droid carrier, because that just seems to be a really popular thing, and I think for kids especially, and there's just some type of draw to getting a set that holds battle droids. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I've got a couple outlandish predictions here, but it is the 20th anniversary of Episode 2, so hear me out. Maybe they'll do an updated version of the Bounty Hunter Pursuit at $50. It's a set that a lot of people love, but obviously can't afford. It's also a scene that's rather iconic from Episode 2, and if there were ever a time to bring it back or do some type of remake of that sort of thing, the time would be now. I think $50 makes sense for the price point, just because those two ships together seem like they would at this point be $25 each, and then they would combine them into one great set. You have Zam Wessel, Anakin Skywalker, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't really see any other minifigs you could throw in there. Maybe we could sneak an episode 2 Padme in there with her room, maybe with a little bit of scenery there, and the robot that tries to deliver the little slugs that try to kill her. But like, outside of that, I don't really see what else the set would provide other than, of course, the swooshable ships. I originally had a different set predicted for this spot at $70 US. However, after seeing one of the most recent episodes of The Bad Batch, I have changed my mind. I think we're going to be getting a Bad Batch Captain Rex's Y-Wing. I do believe I predicted a Captain Rex's Y-Wing for 2021. However, that has obviously not come to fruition. But I think with its reappearance in The Bad Batch, it's kind of cementing itself as something that LEGO will actually go out and make. There's also some like lingering shots of it in the show that make me think it's probably going to show up again. On top of that, Hasbro, who creates the Black Series, has a small teaser that people have figured out probably is going to be a Black Series Captain Rex, and given that the Wrecker and all these things were designed very likely long ago along with the box art, they've probably known about Captain Rex for many months at this point, and given that they're releasing a Black Series Captain Rex like that, then it would make a ton of sense for LEGO to have been in the know and have an actual LEGO set prepared. As far as minifigs for this set goes though, I don't think it will be based off Season 7. Like I said, I think it's going to be Bad Batch based, and I think we'll of course get a Phase 2 Captain Rex, one very similar to the version that we got back in 2013. Maybe they'll give him some sort of poncho like Luke here, and then we'll get Omega finally as a LEGO minifigure. She'll probably fit right in with this set. I don't think we'll get any of the other core 4 of the Bad Batch, but we could perhaps see some other characters that would pop up in future scenes with Captain Rex and the Y-Wing. I just haven't seen enough of the Bad Batch show at this point because it's literally not out to know whether or not something else will fit in this set well. My final guess for the January lineup is at $80, and it's an 18 plus set. They've been doing kind of one 18 plus set per wave right now that's kind of outside of the box of, you know, a helmet set. And in my opinion, I think we'll get something like a Death Star trench run. I think something like that would fit really well within this 18 plus lineup. But of course it would have to be done in a smaller scale, most likely in a smaller than midi scale, but maybe bigger than mini scale at this price point. But my guess is that we would see something like this for the 18 plus lineup, because the Death Star Trench Run is a super iconic scene, and to recreate it in LEGO with a nice displayable piece would just make a ton of sense to me. Now, of course, LEGO doesn't only release sets in January for the first half of the year, they also release sets in April. So my guess is 3 helmet sets once again. We did get 2 this year compared to the 3 from the year prior, but COVID might have had an effect on that, so I'm guessing 3 will be the returning number for 2022. I've seen a really good mock-up, and I'm kind of convinced at this point that a Tusken Raider would actually work for a helmet set, although it wouldn't really fit under the helmet category. A Tusken Raider head would actually work really well for this lineup. It would kind of break up the monotony that has become the Imperial helmet sets and give us something fresh, and I think it would make tons of sense. I think we're also due for a Mandalorian and Beskar armor helmet with a lot of the shiny metallic pieces that they have. I think they could do it rather well, and of course with the Mandalorian continuing into 2022 and beyond, this makes a ton of sense. I would totally throw a Boba Fett helmet in here, but like, we already have a Boba Fett helmet currently available, so I don't think they'll make another one specifically from the Book of Boba Fett with like a slightly different green color. I just don't see it happening, but I think the Mandalorian is almost a sure thing. It seems overdue, honestly, at this point when we're 2 seasons into the show and we haven't had it, so I think that that one's gotta be coming. And then my third helmet set guess is going to be a Bad Batch helmet. My best guess here would be that they would do Hunter at $60, all 3 of these helmet sets being $60, that they would do Hunter at $60 because he's kind of like the leader of the Bad Batch right now. Perhaps we could see more in the future, and ideally we would eventually get the full collection of 5, but I think Hunter is the one they would go with if they were just going to do the one-off, and that's what I think might happen. The final set for the April lineup being a buildable character, because they always fit that buildable character in this little mini wave of helmet sets right now, is going to be a Gunk Droid. I think a Gunk Droid makes a ton of sense, especially given it's somewhat prominent in the Bad Batch. I've seen the designers talk about, you know, we try to fit Gunk Droids in wherever we can, and I think given that it was in the Droid Boost set, I think there's something there that says we might eventually do a Gunk Droid. Now, there are other options they could do for buildable characters, most certainly, but I think as far as timing goes, the most appropriate choice might be a Gunk Droid, and more specifically, the one based on the Bad Batch. You could do one from the original trilogy, I suppose, but it's not going to matter either way, and I think just to have it relevant to whatever media is current, I think they would go with whatever the one in the Bad Batch looks like, just as what they would base it off. But nonetheless, a Gunk Droid is going to be super popular, especially from the memes, and I think it would be one that would fit in really nicely with the rest of the buildable characters. And that leaves us with kind of two things left for the first half of 2021. As far as the May 4th promo goes, I think it's pretty obvious where LEGO's going with it, unfortunately, and that's going to be another one of the vignette diorama style builds. They've done Tatooine, Hoth, Endor, and a Death Star trench run. What's left? Well, it's 2022 and it's the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. Dare I throw my wildest guess out there that they could do some sort of Geonosis set with, you know, mini Republic gunships and some clones on the ground fighting battle droids with a couple of the Separatist ships on there and one of them trying to like leave the surface. That type of build would be spectacular for a 20th anniversary May the 4th build. I guess if it's a prediction, that's not a great prediction given LEGO's track record with things like this, but you know what? I'm going to stick by it. I think they're going to do some sort of Battle of Geonosis build for the May 4th promo next year. And that leaves us with what I predict will be a $200 UCS set for May the 4th, as it has been for most years recently. I think this one is going to be a remake, just like this year's R2-D2 is a remake of the 2012 R2-D2, but I think we're going to get a remake of the 2006 Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. That one is so far overdue for a remake as a UCS set. It would go super well with the 2015 TIE Fighter, and it has become super expensive on the secondary market. Sealed in box, it's I think nearly $1,000, which is insane, given that it originally retailed for $100. So I think Darth Vader's TIE Fighter is certainly due for an upgrade. We'd of course get the regular Darth Vader with arm printing and whatever in that set, but Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, I think, would be an epic UCS set to see return for 2022. Like I said, let me know your predictions in the comments below. Let me know what you think of mine. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe because hopefully soon we'll actually know what the 2022 sets are. These are just my predictions. They're just my guesses. If you're one of those people that takes things like this too seriously, don't. I just make these types of videos for fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.